Well, Mr. Chairman, our Chief Executive Andrew, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this wonderful canal cruise. It's a privilege to be here to address you this evening. I read one journalist this morning wrote an article saying that the Conservative Party was all at sea. That is not true. But there are about 20 of them on a canal boat as I speak. David, thank you so much for kindly mentioning Spartan Victory. I've sold nearly 5,000 copies now, which for a self-published work, I'm told is quite a respectable number. I've got a couple of flyers here, it's still available on Amazon. Just in case anyone is interested, and this tells the story of how 28 Conservative MPs fought valiantly to make sure that we ultimately kept our word to the British people and we left the European Union. And for the avoidance of doubt, I'm not apologising about that to anybody, least of all the Irish government. Now, I promised your chairman that I would keep my remarks fairly concise this evening, so I thought I would take as my text the 10 principles of the freedom of association. Now, I'm not going to perform a quiz and ask you to reel them all off in the correct order, but what I thought I might do is, bearing in mind how very important the freedom of association is, and the battle that it fights every day on our collective behalf to defend a free society, I thought I might just run you quickly through its 10 key principles and say just a word or two about each one. This is fairly snappy. The first principle is individual freedom. So let me summarise that quickly. No more lockdowns. The second principle, personal and family responsibility. The state can do great things. My wife Olivia, and it's wonderful to have her here with us this evening, works as an interventional radiographer in the National Health Service, and including all the way through the pandemic. And I'm immensely proud of everything that she did, literally, to save life. But the state cannot do everything, and the bedrock of our society must still remain the family and those blood ties of members of families looking after each other. The state cannot, nor should it, attempt to surpass that. The third principle is the rule of law. We want policing looking forward for 2024. We don't want policing for 1984. We want the police out catching burglars, not obsessing about pursuing people for thought crimes. The fourth principle is limited government, and that includes giving people back more of their own hard-earned money. And as part of the mini-budget package, we'll be reducing national insurance contributions by 1.25%, and people will see that money in their end-of-month pay packet by Christmas. And then we brought forward the 1 penny reduction in income tax from 2024 to 2023. So limited government, giving back people more of their own hard-earned money. The fifth principle, a free market economy. Adam Smith was right. And that means, particularly in the current context, encouraging growth in the economy, because as the size of the cake increases, there is more to share out. So if we believe in free markets, we must believe in trying to encourage growth and having an economic policy which seeks to do that. You can't tax your way out of the pandemic. You have to grow your way out of the pandemic. And that's what this government is attempting to do. The sixth principle, national parliamentary democracy. National parliamentary democracy, not the faux democracy of the European Union. We have left the EU. We left under the Withdrawal Act 2020, under UK law, and under Article 50 under EU law. We're out. We withdrew our MEPs from the European Parliament because we were no longer entitled to them. But there is some tidying up still to do, and that includes the Northern Ireland Protocol. And we simply must address that challenge because, as the late David Trimble, a Nobel laureate, told us, we have to do that in order to uphold the Good Friday Agreement, which is the basis of peace in Northern Ireland. 7. Strong national defences. I served in the armed forces, albeit as a reservist during the Cold War. I was very proud to be an MOD minister for 3 years. I now serve on the House of Commons Defence Committee. And I'm here to tell you that the defence of freedom that the Ukrainians are putting up is nothing short of remarkable. There are many learned military analysts who, when they heard the Russians had invaded, barely gave the Ukrainians a week. Well, they've done rather better than that. And they are fighting not just for themselves. In effect, they're fighting for us. And I'm proud to wear this badge. And we need to back them to the hilt until Putin and his vile dictatorship is defeated and the people of the Ukraine can wave their flag in freedom once again. And that means continuing to invest in our own defences, and I'm delighted that the Prime Minister has pledged that we will increase defence spending from about 2.2 to 2.3% of GDP at present, including the contribution to the Ukrainians, to 3% of GDP by at the end of the decade. Freedom isn't free. And in a world of totalitarian regimes, be they Russian, Chinese, North Korean or elsewhere, we must continue to commit resources to keep ourselves and our allies free. I still believe in the maxim that the first duty of government above all others is the defence of the realm, and our whole national history shows us again and again that we forget that at our peril. The 8th principle is a free press. Why should people have to pay a poll tax of £159 a year to own a television, even if they never watch the BBC at all? So let's take the 8th principle of a free press literally and abolish the BBC licence. The 9th principle is freedom of religion. We have a very strong tradition in this country of religious toleration. This is a country where people can enjoy their own religious belief. Some of you are far too young to remember the Irish comedian Dave Allen. But he always, keep it quiet, Tina, but he don't admit it, but he always famously ended his show with the phrase, "Good night, and may your God go with you." And we should be proud that in the United Kingdom you can worship the religion of your choice. We should defend the right of people to worship, be they Hindu, Muslim, Shintoist or Christian. It is vital that we uphold that sense of religious freedom. And then lastly, the 10th principle is freedom of speech. As Voltaire said, I disagree wholeheartedly with what you say, but I would defend to the death your right to say it. And we must continue to fight cancel culture. We have to live in a free society where people are able to express controversial opinions, provided they do so within the law and have a sense of free, open and healthy debate. We cannot allow the hard left in this country to cancel people who have the sheer temerity to disagree with what they believe. That is fundamental. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to run through those 10 principles again. I think you've got the point. But there is one political party in the United Kingdom that believes wholeheartedly in all of them. And the good news is, you're in it. Thank you very much for coming along this evening to celebrate your freedom, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the conference. Thank you very much indeed.